Sooner Scoop HD.
Ted, you mentioned after the game, being frustrated with some of those, getting Baylor to fourth downs and then not converting. Just after watching the film, what did you see from those fourth down conversions they had?
Some of it was a lack of execution, but sometimes they made a play, and we didn't, and that's what it came down to.
When you go into this weekend, I guess West Virginia team that's done pretty well converting on fourth down. How much can you emphasize fourth down defense, or is that something?
We emphasize a lot because the game of college football has changed. Everybody's working off the analytics now, and this year is going to set a record for the most fourth down attempts in the history of college football. So that's a point of emphasis every week as far as the mentality of having to have a four-down mindset, not a three-down mindset, and you're off the field. I mean, they went for it on 4th and 1 from their own 29. So I mean, it's not a surprise. It's not something that we haven't prepared for. It's not something we haven't spent time game planning for as a staff. It's everybody's a lot of coaches now are following the analytics and certainly being aggressive with the fourth down calls, and both offensively and defensively.
Sure. Right down the line there, Bob.
Yeah, Ted, a little off topic here, but you weren't around when Jeremiah Cradell was a player, but what have you seen from him in this last year to let you know he could be a pretty good coach?
That's a great question. He's a guy that has a fantastic attitude, tremendous energy, always wanting to learn, wanting to grow. Why do you do that, Coach? Why do you do that, Coach? How about this? And I just have a lot of respect and admiration for him, and he's going to be a fantastic coach. On top of being a great resource for our players, of having been a guy that was a good player with a very bright future that had the game taken away from him, and what that means and how that feels, and valuing every day and valuing each opportunity and perspective. And I have a tremendous amount of respect, and he's going to be a fantastic football coach and great for young people.
When you start back today and you get back at it today after not being able to get off the field like you wanted to against Saturday against Baylor, what's going to be your message, and what do you dive into with this football team this week as you try to get them back on track?
The precision, precision and all the details that go into the finite details that go into being able to execute at a high level. We were decent on third down. We weren't very good on fourth down. So that part of it, and again, to your point about having a four-down mentality, but also understanding how you play first, second, and third down affects fourth down too, and it all goes together. It's all a piece of the pie, and it's interwoven. So that everything we do is important, and it's got to be with precision and extreme detail.
What do you think of Daniels and what they're doing at West Virginia offensively?
I have a lot of respect for them. He throws a great deep ball. Doesn't panic in the pocket, and he's done a good job and throws under duress too. He hangs in there, trusts his protection, and hangs in there and gets rid of the ball, and knowing he's, regardless of the situation, type of pressure, no pressure, whatever it is, he's a tough, gutsy competitor. Sure.
Ted, you've coached a lot of years. What's the difference? And you can talk a little bit. Sorry.
It's okay. I feel like I've been 100 now.
It wasn't Eli this time.
We're just aging.
I know. We had to pass it down the road. That's all right. We're no problem. I was expecting it.
I wanted to ask you, can you talk a little bit about the difference of recruiting when things are going really, really well versus when maybe you're struggling a little bit? What's it like as a coach when you're talking to these recruits? How big a difference is there when things are going really good versus maybe now when you're seeing a 5-4 team?
It's certainly something that you deal with. It's because if you don't bring it up, the people you're recruiting against will. But at the same time, the opportunity here and the development for, the totality of the growth and development. I mean, it's a proven commodity. It's not like a what if, can you guys do it? I mean, no, there's years and years and years of evidence saying, okay, both at Oklahoma and with his staff saying, hey, we can do it, we have done it, and here's how we've done it, and here's who we've done it with. So understanding the totality of the experience here at the University of Oklahoma, and not getting bogged down in where we are today, that's certainly a factor, and we all want to be better. And but we're going to work through this, and we are going to get better. So it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And all of us want it immediately, if not sooner. So I mean, that part of it, but and recruiting the right type of people that fit here. From a standpoint of toughness, blue collar, family, discipline, accountability, all those things, that work ethic, all the things that go into being the right fit here. And, we've got a great recruiting class put together, and we're going to continue to add to it, and we're going to be fine.
We always look at the coach-recruit relationship and how those relationships are built. What about Brent? What's his message to his staff about recruiting? What's it been like this season? What does he tell you guys? And you have to go, I don't want you to go deep into it, but just what's his message to the coaches about recruiting and the importance of that?
To be extremely thorough in finding out everything we can possibly find out from every source about a potential prospect here for the University of Oklahoma, to be thorough and to delve down into it and find out what the makeup is, to make sure it's the right fit, because everybody's not a fit for here, and understanding what's important to that young person, and does it mesh with our beliefs. And at the same time, certainly there's a certain level of player that you have to be, at the bare minimum, but at the same time, he's looking for people that do that, but also fit here within our program and within our culture. And that's the most important thing. The old saying, right? Hey, if you sign a guy, right, you play with him for 4 years. If you don't sign a guy, you only play him once a year. And so the things about getting it right from the fit standpoint, and again, with the certain level of performance and measurables and all that, but just getting guys that would love this place and love the culture here, that fit.
Sure. My neighbor. Yeah, Ted, following up on your first answer about 4th downs, how much does that change the way the way that's evolved? How much does it change the way you coach on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down? And just how have you seen that evolution process go? Has it been pretty gradual, or was it just this year that more people are starting to?
I think that you've got to be more aggressive, of thinking it's 3rd and 8 and you're going to drop 8 and let them tackle a check down. It's going to be 4th and 2. Well, now 4th and 2s, go for it in most situations. So I think you've got to be able to mix things and try and keep people off balance, but it certainly puts a premium on your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down performance. And then how have I seen it change? I wouldn't call it gradual, but it's not like it's gone from 0 to 100. It's probably gone from like 40 to 100, miles per hour, as far as the change in it is how I would. But again, with the analytics and more coaches buying into the analytics, we're going to continue to see more and more of that. It's not going to go back anytime soon. I don't think it's just going to get more aggressive based on what the statistics say in the book.
And then along those lines, how have analytics shaped you as a coach, and how much do you buy into that, and how do you balance what the numbers tell you versus just that gut feel?
I think you got to have a balance. The books say one thing, or whatever analytics we use in our reports and our scouting system, but at the same time, during the course of the game, you've got to be able to make adjustments, and at the same time, trust your gut. And if you err being on the side of being aggressive, because you usually don't regret those. You have regrets when you weren't aggressive as a play caller. So that's kind of how I see it.
Sure. Jordan Kelly's a guy who's popped up on some big plays the last couple of weeks, but that's the first time he's been out there making plays. What have you seen of him, I guess, behind the scenes and getting to this point this time of year?
He's made some nice plays for us. There's no question. Just need for that to happen consistently, and that's the message that for Jordan is to, you've done some really good things, but we need those things consistently, and so looking for him to do that on a consistent basis, and certainly appreciative of the plays that he has made.
Where are the places, I guess, he can get more consistent, or what can he do, Monday through Friday to get there on Saturday?
He's working at it. It's just we want more consistency from everybody. So it's not something that Jordan Kelly's got to do. So I don't want that to be no, it's not that. It's across the board. But yeah.
Justin.
Hey, Ted. Appreciate your time. Sure. You guys have a pair of one-possession losses this season. I'm just curious, what goes into, or what is the most defining trait of a team that's able to come out on top of those 50-50 games?
To be able to execute in those situations where it's those situations. Everything's important, but there's certain things like when it's 4th and 7, hey, we know, right? Or it's 4th and 1, and they're at their own 29, we know. Just to be successful in those type of situations. And at the same time, the other part of that is, hey, let's be better consistently so we don't put ourselves in those situations. But, there's a lot of parity in college football, and there are a lot of one-possession games. So to be able to win those, win those situations. Sure.
Back left, John Goodwin.
Yeah, Ted, I think the book said that you guys were averaging on defense facing third and 8.2 yards on third down. Goal to go, or to leave the stick, 8 yards. Pretty good. You'd probably take that. Third down conversions, 4 of 13, you'd probably take that. But they 3 of 6 on third and short. And then, of course, the 2 fourth and shorts. They got both of those. What does that tell you about how you're doing on first and second down in that game? And what does that tell you about what your priorities should be on short yard stuff?
Well, I think you made a pretty good point. I think you could answer your own question. But it tells us that, 3rd and 8, yeah, we'll take that every day, all day. And at the same time, excuse me, in those 3rd and 1 situations or 4th and 1s, if you're 50% successful on defense in 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, you've had a heck of a deal, because obviously you don't want to live games in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and that 3rd and 3 for most people is that 50-50 down where, when you want to load the box, well, they have routes that beat the load the box calls. So it's a 50-50 deal there. Excuse me. So, yeah, but anytime you're more successful on first and second down, obviously the odds are in your favor on third down, and when you're not, you don't win many games living in 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 1.
What do you see as defensive philosophy-wise here? Some of your priorities on short yardage spreads, specifically goal line. There was a play I'm thinking of where 2 linebackers shot the same gap, and the hole just parted wide open. He walked in the end zone.
Well, there's a lot of things that go into that. I know which play you're referring to, and there's a lot of things that go into that on the backside too. That what did or didn't happen. So anytime there's an insert, it creates a new gap. So you have to have an outside B and an inside B, or an outside A and an inside A, or an outside C and inside C. So there's new gaps created as people are inserted in the offensive line. So I know which play it was, and again, there were some things happening on the backside that weren't good either. So yeah, there was a mistake made.
Last one, back, Eddie.
Just kind of following up on Who's question, just how much of the problems as a whole are just not lining up correctly? And how does that happen going into the 10th week of the season? Did they just not understand what they're being asked to do?
It is a problem, okay? And here's how it happens. They're human, and they make mistakes, just like all of us make mistakes. And we got to continue to work to eliminate those mistakes, and that's what we're doing. And are we happy with where we are? Absolutely not. But again, to go back to work and to fix it, and that's the only way I know how to do it.
Is it surprising, though, that you're going into the 10th week of the season and it seems to be a continuous problem all year?
There's Is it surprising? I certainly wish it weren't that way. And at the same time, and I'm not making excuses for anybody, including myself, because I don't do that. But there's all kinds of the variations from offense to offense in this league. There's all kinds of different things. So there's new challenges and new opportunities each and every week, to your point. So to be able to understand those and get comfortable with those and continue to work at it.
Sooner Scoop HD.